In this video, I'm going to talk about things to look for in a notice of seizure. Specifically, although this is going to apply generally to notices of seizure for anything that you get, any property that's seized from customs. I'm talking about it now in context of having money seized from customs. But again, it's going to be broadly applicable to other areas, but right now I'm only talking about notices of seizure received for money that has been taken from a person. So what are the important things to look at in a notice of seizure when you get it, when you're calling my office, or when you're taking steps to try to recover your money? The first is the date, okay? The notice of seizure letter is going to have a date on it. It's usually at the top of the page, month, day, and year. That's what you're looking for. Also, save the envelope. On the envelope, there's going to be a postmark. Now, the postmark can be important. The date on the envelope and the date on the postmark should be the same. What the regulations, what the law says is that the timeline for responding to a notice of seizure starts from the day that customs sends the notice. Well, as it happens, sometimes customs dates the letter, waits a day, not on purpose, but they date the letter, and the letter doesn't, the envelope with the letter in it doesn't always end up getting mailed out until a day later. I've had some cases where it's been a couple of weeks later where obviously somebody wasn't doing their job or somebody had some bad intent. But make sure that the date on the notice and the date on the postmark match. If they don't, if it's not a big difference, probably don't need to worry about it, but it could become important later. So save the envelope. Take a note of whether or not the day on the letter and the postmark match. Next important part is to see that the property is accurately described. Did they accurately describe what was seized? How much money was taken? The right amounts, the right currencies? Is that all there properly described? Second would be the laws violated. For most currency seizure violations, the violations will be a failure to report, structuring, or bulk cash smuggling. But the laws violated will, in large part, determine a range of outcomes. It can tell you whether the penalty is going to be on the high side or on the low side. So that's going to be on the first page shortly after the description of the property. And there may be more than one law listed there that's been violated. Another important part of the notice would be also on the first page. What office has it come from? In the upper right-hand corner, typically there's going to be an address for a fines, penalties, and forfeitures office. That's where you're going to be sending correspondence to, very likely. But on the last page of the letter, above the signature line, it may indicate that a certain paralegal is assigned to the case. That name can be important because it's the contact person who is going to be managing your case. It can also tell us something about what time frames you can expect to get a decision based on my experiences with that paralegal. Another important thing to be aware of on the notice is, of course, the instructions. So the notice is going to give you several options for trying to get the money back or abandoning the money. That's spelled out in detail in the notice. One thing that people often do is they fill out all the forms that come with the notice when they shouldn't. So you're going to get an election of proceedings form, and you may check on that election of proceedings form that you want to file a claim, or you want to file a petition. If you file a petition, don't fill out the claim form. It says that in the notice, but people still do it all the time. They submit an election of proceedings form that says they want to file a petition. And then they also submit a signed claim form that says they don't want to file a petition. They want the case to be referred to the U.S. Attorney's Office for judicial forfeiture. You can't have it both ways. You got to do one or the other. I like filing a petition. You're going to probably see information or misinformation from other attorneys about whether or not you can be successful if you file a petition. Get your own legal advice, because oftentimes filing a petition is the best option. So those are some things to look out for on the notice of seizure letter. Also, you should know that if you've had money seized, Customs has up to 60 days to send that notice of seizure letter. But if you don't get it within 30 days of the date of the seizure, I'd start following up with Customs to make sure that it hasn't been lost in the mail, so that you have plenty of time to respond and you're not stuck trying to get extra time or having to file a motion to set aside forfeiture just to get an opportunity to retrieve your money. Make sure you get it within the first month and take actions to make sure that you do if you haven't got it by then. Hope this was helpful. Whenever you have questions, you can go to our website, GreatLakesCustomsLaw.com, or give us a call at 734-855-4999.